October 2021. Today is also a super Tuesday for all my students, all my mentees. So later on, don't worry, I'll tell you the detail of what we will have. This today will be quite an interesting session, okay? We start at 2 p.m. I'll inform you what will be the highlights. All right, now today we have incredible with the Facebook power outage. We have the Facebook whistleblower. We have the UK fuel crisis. Now this is crazy. In a single day itself, so many things happen. And this is actually not very nice because this is actually going to be a very detrimental to the market. Now, I'll talk to you about more about all these shortly, all right? Oh, it's heavy rain right now. Wow, okay. Now, one thing, note that disclaimer as usual, please understand this. My job is to relate what I see in the market and share with you. Now, end of the day itself, we could be in different direction. I can be totally wrong too. So end of the day, you do your risk assessment and then make sure you risk manage your portfolio well so that you can get the best result, okay? So once you're accepted the above, you indemnify me. Thank you. Now, this morning highlight, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp down in global outage. Now, normally when it go down, it's at 1 hour or 2 hours, right? But this time around, 6 hours, okay? 6 hours. And the thing is this, okay, is that the entire Facebook family, all right, all got hit. And of course, this caused a lot of problem for a lot of people because many of us are using WhatsApp for communication. And for this moment itself, right, don't you realize that we are so, we are so vulnerable. Once the WhatsApp is down, what can we do? But very fortunately, we have Telegram, so it was working. So a lot of my friends actually reopened different groups just for the sake of this outage itself. Incredible. But of course, this is what happened in the morning when you were offline, like, but then if you're online now, yay, okay? So we can imagine this, right? One day the world ran out of internet. There's no internet available. How do you think it would have happened? Well, I cannot imagine that. One thing for sure, definitely no MAO. All right, good morning to you, Eric. Okay, good to see you. All right, so what happened is that another highlight is that now Biden is pushing the Congress, okay? Biden really wants the debt ceiling to be out of the way. And is urging GOP, right, to just get out of the way, man, get out, okay? Don't waste time here yourself. He blamed the Republican, obviously, for blocking all the efforts to raise or suspend. Now, to me, is that to raise the debt ceiling is a definite, I'll tell you that. To suspend is ridiculous, okay? How can they suspend it? Suspend it means what? No ceiling? But you must understand that this is really incredible. US have been doing this for the last how many years? 15 years, 20 years? So they have not really learned their lesson and they're still going to do that. So now it's going to add and add and add. It's going to be growing crazy, okay? So seriously, this is why when you see this cartoon, I was just laughing over it, okay? Yeah, we know what DC stands for, right? We all know DC stands for something in America. But apparently this cartoon showed that DC stands for drama and comedy. I'm laughing away. All right. So this is a big joke here. Really, it's a joke for America. It's like you are government, and yet you are fighting your life out to whether can you have money to raise the debt ceiling. I mean, if the country is based on that itself, right? Every time we raise the debt ceiling, we make this entire show a mockery, in fact. But yet itself, this country is the number one country. The stock market is the number one, the one that everybody follows, and obviously the military power is the number one. Then this debt ceiling is really a joke here itself. But again, I repeat it to you one more time and many times before, I strongly believe that they will raise the debt ceiling. I'll tell you that they will do it, whether it's last minute or even they defaulted and then they raise, it will still be raised up. All right, so there's something that you watch out for there. It's going to be there. Now, this morning, this morning was a little bit late because I was not able to do the updates. This morning, we have Facebook outstage, right? So we can see that immediately things like this were not available. But of course, by 8:30 a.m. itself, right, the thing came back and then I have this small little room for me to do some stuff. So I quickly, get ready and then want to show you some of the technical aspects that we covered yesterday. Now, yesterday we covered that the Dow Jones itself, right, these are all the technical level that I showed to you, 34,585, 34,323. And I mentioned to you that if the market loses the MLP, it will go down to 34,090. And the MLP level yesterday was a very important level, 34,090. And I said that if it go down lower, it will track down. It will track down to 33,835. Remember that? I told you what happened, and you can see exactly it is. Yesterday, when the market broke the MLP, you can see that. When the market broke the MLP, which is here, 34,090, When it go down, I said that it will come down to this point. This is the 95% mark, and indeed it really come there and stop there. And you can see that every time it hit this point, the market will always rebound. So this is going to be a very, very important highlight point for today. Right? If the market holds on it, it will rebound. If the market fails, the selling will bring it down very heavily. So traders, you have to watch out this yourself. Thank you, Anthony. Remember to put on a spot on for me. Now, whenever I get it correct, I just love you to put a spot on for me. That'll be lovely, because as you know that I'm actually putting your live comments on this recording right now. So actually, when you guys are giving me the spot on or give me a very good credential feedback itself, right? All these are captured, and it is definitely watched by many people. Let's put it this way. Okay, thank you very much, Anthony. Appreciate that. Good morning to you, Alison, Cheng Hui. Morning to you. Okay, then after that, I also talk about Nikkei, right? Now, the thing is this, I'm in Singapore right now. I don't have any much Japanese friend. And obviously, it's all right to know what is the Japan Nikkei doing is impossible. But we have the charts with us. And I told you that Nikkei will likely go down to 28,088. Right? Now, yesterday, the Nikkei was trading at 28,421. You can see that on the screen. Okay, and then what happened? I said that the Nikkei will likely be coming down to this point here at 28,000, right? I mentioned that itself, and we see the Nikkei. Wow, the Nikkei really slammed down, goes down all the way to 28,000 itself. All right, so again, it's proven that whatever we share on MAO, if you actually take down some of the materials and utilize it, you're going to make some good money. And all these are live things. You cannot lie about it, okay? Because I'm doing it every single day itself, okay? That's a lovely part. And of course, this one, the gold. Remember, the gold was trading at 1761. The gold was trading at 1761. I share with you that, okay, that if gold is to come down, the most is 1745. But if gold is to stay up above 1762, it will go up to 1769. And this is a big resistance. I mentioned to you, it's a big, big resistance on it. And I said that if the market cannot go up, you have to be hanging around at 1769. And of course, you can see that really the gold came down. It missed the 1745 by a bit. You can see that. Oh my goodness. The gold came down, missed the 1745 by a bit. Okay, just a little bit, rebounded, and then got resisted perfectly at 1769. Exactly the number that I mentioned, exactly what I say. Guys, this is crazy. This is really, really crazy. Imagine that you know all these levels itself way beforehand, and you can actually tell yourself what to do. And at those technical points, you trade on it. How do you think would that be? All right, if you think that I did a great job once again, please key the word spot on right now. All right, then you'll be more than happy, right? Here, spot on, if you can do that, okay? All right, because you cannot, if you talk about precision itself, now some people say, oh, okay, plus minus this 100 points, 200 points. But to count the dollar and cents level to the very pinpoint level, all these are really, it's just not by luck, like put it this way. Okay, I might be fortunate to be able to pick them up, but definitely I don't really say it's all luck. Okay, there's some element of luck, I'm sure, but maybe 40% luck, 60% some skills. Okay, so I thank you once again. You are okay. You are crazy. Okay, what a way to compliment a person. Okay, you are crazy, spot on. Okay, thank you, Judy, once again. By the way, Judy, I heard that this morning you were in the car and a super Singapore star sat in your car. Is it you're driving Grab and then this star actually sit on you got him. Okay, all right. Thank you guys. Wow, so many spot on from you. Okay, thank you. This is the best motivation for this morning. All right, thank you guys so much. Appreciate that. Okay, all right. So that is just to review on what happened on the market. Okay, let's now look at the for Hang Seng. Now, look, guys, this is what we'll be talking later on in the 2 p.m. session. Okay, one of this is this. Okay, now this is the Hang Seng. You take a look. Now we have yesterday again we have made money from Hang Seng. All right, Johnny made some money. Min Hui made some money. In fact, about 7 to 8 individuals who traded Hang Seng yesterday. We made money again. And why can we make money? Now this is really incredible. This is actually a compiled data point data from a student. Now this student Kim, he basically follow all the calls and then he do his own tabulation. Of course, there'll be room of plus minus, but my point is this. You can see that we don't only do one side trade, we do short, we also go long, okay? And since 25th of August is 1 month ago, all right, every single day, he tabulated, if let's say, if I were to trade on a very low figure, now this is based on capital about 4,000 US dollar, capital about 4,000 US dollar around there, okay? So you can see that after a while later, right, the numbers have to add on very incredibly. Look at it. Oh my goodness. There's some days we make only like $12. There are some days we make about $41, but there are some pretty good days we make about $1,400, as much as potentially $1,400. But we also have down day. Last Thursday we were down because what happened was that the futures. The futures roll over, and of course that day the market was pretty volatile, so we lost money. But if you look at it collectively itself, right, this is a very, very impressive result. And yesterday itself, right, if you actually do and follow the rule, you made about 552. Now this is a model placement. It's not a trade, not a student who really traded it, but is that if we follow the rules, right, this is what you're going to get. Okay, and of course it's very clear, win lose very open. We don't change the thing, and this is really incredible. Okay, so we talk about this more later at 2 p.m. All right, I want you guys to really, really consider to do this, because this is statistic compiled by student, not by us. Okay. All right, now today we have the ISM non-manufacturing PMI. Okay, we know that the data is kind of always flattish for this, so we will not be speculating this, but definitely for sure itself, right? If the PMI data is lower than expected, right, again, that will push the market down a little bit more, and this will be a headache for Federal Reserve, because it will put in a position whether should they taper or don't taper. Now, last night, the Dow Jones dropped by 323 points. It went down to a low of 33,800, which is exactly the 95% mark. And then after that, it recovered. So it seems to be that the 95% mark is something that the market actually knows about it. And all you need to do is just for the follow through and pay attention to details and make some money out of that. Okay, so oops, hold on. Okay, so the last night, the Dow Jones dropped 320 points to start the week. Nasdaq dropped by 2%. So what happened? Now, first of all, you must understand there's a lot of rotation out of technology. And I mentioned to you 3 weeks ago that it's time to get out from Nasdaq techies, all right? A lot of people are still buying the techs. I told you that please get out, because we haven't even started yet. Trust me, the moment the tapering starts to come in itself, right, it will definitely hit the technology counter even harder. So the market is always selling anticipation, all right? Yes, indeed, you may say, Kel, then maybe after the tapering, will the market recover? Yeah, there will be intermittent recovery, but you must understand that if the technology field cannot recover from this, because they are so used to having free money, and when this free money is no longer available, right, it will actually shift the whole camp. And you can see that what happened, like you can see many counters like Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, Microsoft, all coming down. And do understand this, yesterday the 10-year yield actually was trading at 1.48%. So it's a bit scary, because you know why? If you trade at 1.6% and the stock is coming down, we can buy it. But now if the treasury yield is 1.48% and yet the stocks are still coming down, so you can imagine that itself, right? If the yield really goes up higher, right, that will happen. And I told you what happened is that if the yield at 1.56%, I told you likely the Federal Reserve will come in by buying bonds. So I'm pretty sure for the yield to come down itself, it was because the bonds was bought up. And when the bonds was bought up itself, right, means there was intervention into the market, but yet the market keep on selling. So that means that currently the selling forces right now is much, much bigger than you can imagine. I repeat, that means that the market is selling more than you can imagine, because normally when the yield comes down, the bonds goes up, meaning the money will leak into the stock market. But this time around, it didn't happen. So that is why I'm very, very fearful that things can get very ugly very soon. All right. And of course, we have an incredible movement by Facebook itself. We lost about 5% in overnight because there's a so-called of a whistleblower. Now, this whistleblower, later on I'll share about her herself, is actually quite dangerous for Facebook already, because this time now is someone unearthing, okay, certain thing about what Facebook done during the 2020 presidential election period. And if this actually grows out of proportionate, right, the Republican will definitely bite onto it. And this will cause a big problem for 2024 this what do you call next so-called the next election. So that is the reason why I think that this is actually very, very scary for Facebook. All right. Once again, do understand the Federal Reserve will have to consider now what to do because of supply chain problem. We have higher taxation problem, inflation risk, and also global problem. All right. So with the COVID still ongoing itself, right, it's adding on and making the whole situation pretty bad. And of course, we also don't know what's going to happen to Evergrande. There's a lot of rumors saying that they're going to be bought out by some companies here and there. They're going to cut it to many different units and then they resell it again. We don't know. We will not speculate. But just to FYI, you know that usually the fourth quarter, which is now, the market will end positive. So let's hope that this seasonal pattern will really happen. All right. So let's take a look at what happened on the Dow Jones as of last night. Okay, let's take a look on the recap. So first of all, the market opens above the pivot one. So ideally, if it goes above OP, it should be a buy, right? Ideally, going above OP is a buy. China A50 is on. This not the China stock. It is the CFD. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what happened is that the opening price was actually above the pivot one. So ideally, it should go up, right? But because the KSI is red, so that when the market goes below OP, right, that means it enter what we call as this uncertainty zone. But once it goes below pivot one, if a CCYR, that is where the selling will kick in. And because the KSI is red in color, the downside should be about KTR -1 or -2 and or -2. Okay, so that is what you should know in your mind when you're looking at this chart and see what happened. So everybody take a look right now. You can see that the market once open, it tried to go up first initially. Then once it go below OP, that was where the first sign of trouble is. It came down to pivot one. There were no color change. It went back up again, came back down again. You notice that the way it stopped there, seemingly, I tell you that there is this pivot one that exists. But you must understand, pivot one is not a trend line that is drawn by yourself. It's drawn by a computer system. So it seems to be the computer system already know that there is this particular level to watch out for. And again, what happened? The gold tried to stay above OP, it failed. So they go the Dow. Then it came back down again, and it keep on staying exactly at this point here. It's as if that they understand it. Okay, then of course there was one blast through that went above OP. So I thought that was where the Dow should be going higher, right? But the thing is this, immediately there's a BMB appearing on your screen. You see that? This is a BMB and this is a color change. And this color change is actually triggering the OP, triggering the KTR, triggering the pivot one. Oh my goodness, 3 of them being triggered by a BMB. And it's a color change at the pivot. So it's very powerful. And of course, the Dow really moved down. All right, the Dow came down very strongly. So again, all this informs you that if you actually follow the system and you wait for all these things to come online and you trade right, you should be able to make very reasonable money. All right. So guys, this is something that you can consider. Okay, watch out for this. All right, I understand. If you understand this, please key number 1 right now. Okay. I just saw on Bloomberg News, Singapore passes a law to prevent foreign interference in its politics. All right, so this is really incredible. Okay, all right, it really have just happened. Okay, I just saw the news moments ago. Okay. Now we all know that actually, if you actually study into politics as well, right, you will notice that what Singapore is doing is somehow like preventing what China actually trying to do recently. All right, so all these tells you that we just have to be very careful with our choice of words whenever we post online, because you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the track. Okay, this is very critical because some of us are actually very quick with our fingers, and you may get yourself into unnecessary trouble when you actually do that. Yeah, so be very, very careful with whatever you say, and especially whatever you do, because the world is pretty small right now. Okay, all right. Thank you, thank you, King Hua, for explaining about the China A50. Yeah. Okay, all right. Let's continue. Thank you guys for those who typed number 1. Now gold. Wow. Now gold. Yesterday I already tell you that I am more towards the buy side. All right. So what were the reason? Now, first of all, we know that the KSI is red. So we do know that if the market open, right, there is a tendency for it to fall, which indeed it really happened. But the blue bars are actually retracting and there's a KCX at the bottom. So that gave me the confidence that gold will likely be going higher. So what I did was very simple. As a trader, we shorted the gold based on rules, but actually inside me itself, I know that once it hit KTR -1 or -2, right? Should there be any good setup, I will definitely do a buy. You understand? Not because that I'm going against the rule, but because we know that the blue bars are retreating and the KCX is there, and the previous day itself, right, was CCRY. So if the market is to really go higher, it will hit KTR -1, -2, and likely recover. Okay, that is what I was trying to speculate back then itself. And let's take a look, okay, everybody. This is not that no bullshit because we actually did live sharing in a Go group chat. So the gold initially was ding-donging and then it had to come down, right? Okay, so what happened is here, the first movement was here. This is the first movement. Can you see that? This is the BMB that came with a trigger on the OP. Can you see that? It's a BMB triggering OP. So CCYR, YR means it's a sell, right? So you know that it will go down. Now, because the day chart KSI is red in color, we know that going to KTR -1, it should be very easy. Going to KTR -2 may take a while, but it will likely happen, okay? It might happen, all right? So what happened is that beautifully, the market hit KTR -1 and -2, and we were shorting gold along the way down. Then after that, when the gold stopped here itself, right, I told my friend, I told Susan, I told one of them, I think Eric in the office, said, look, this gold might be recovering soon. Now, why do I say that? Now, because I saw the gold did this. Can you see that? This is a BMB. Can you see that? This yellow bar is a BMB. Now, this BMB did not trigger anything, but collectively, the entire area itself, right? This entire area itself is actually a CCRY, and the entry bar is there. So that's why that was the first time where we call for buy on gold, and I mentioned that those who shorted can cover back. Then after that, it did went up a bit, then it came back down again. Now this time round, it didn't trigger anything. There's no BMB, there's nothing here for triggering. It's just a normal trade. Okay, then of course there's no KCX also. KCX earlier was here. So this trade itself, right, no CCR, is a CCRY trigger KTR -1, but there's no BMB around. So of course, if you want to buy, you just have to go in on just a normal ground to buy, and of course, gold went up. This trade, we didn't really call for it because as I shared to you, there was no BNB around. But of course, inside me itself, I will just buy because I told you guys I'm bullish overall for gold, but this trade got no trigger, okay? Other than normal trigger, there was no BNB triggering here. So this one you must understand. Although I would love to say there's a trigger and they, oh, you should buy here and there, but we don't align, okay? Don't have means don't have. Have will tell you. So if let's say this guy was a bit longer touching this and create a BNB, right? Oh my goodness. I tell you, this one I'll sure buy very big. Why? Because this entry will be higher than the previous entry. Can you see that? This entry at A will be higher than entry at C. So imagine that if this is going to be a trigger with BNB and then the entry is higher than the previous one, definitely is a good buy. But like I say, too bad it didn't really happen the way I wanted it. So wasted. Okay, anyway. But still, overall, we made good money on gold yesterday. All right, that's the most important thing. Okay, so let's look at some of the local and global news right now. Now, Facebook shares dropped by 5% after the major site outage, right, and a whistleblower interview. Okay, this is going to be very important. Watch this, okay? So basically, it's all right. The entire movement hits a lot of media stock like Twitter, Snap, Pinterest. All of them fell by 5% yesterday. That's why Nasdaq was selling off very strongly. And of course, why is that so? Because if Facebook is a go down because of the whistleblower, right? Then Twitter, Snap, and this Pinterest will also be in trouble because they also may have done something here. So because of that, it's all right. Okay, this is the worst outage for Facebook since 2008. Okay, back then it's all right. It knocked off the service for about a day itself, and about 80 million users were affected. But that's 2008. But now 2021, we're talking about 13 years later. Oh my goodness, you know that Facebook has 3 billion users. Oh my God, 3 billion users is like almost half of the world population. Imagine 3 billion users. You know how much money, if you just take $1 from every individual itself, right? Whether it's direct advertisement or, paid advertisement, oh my goodness, $3 billion. Imagine that. That is why I keep on telling you this stuff, right? Facebook, after, Facebook will get bigger and bigger, and definitely Mark Zuckerberg one day will definitely become the world richest man. I don't know when will that be. I'm quite sure it will happen. All right. I've been saying this for a long, long while, 5-6 years already, and I still think that I'll be correct. All right. So, okay, that's a wait a moment. Wait something. Okay. Now, Facebook have this particular person. It's a Facebook whistleblower. Now, what actually happened and create this big, big problem for Facebook? Let's take a look. Now, apparently itself, right, this lady called Franz Hogan, okay, he went on to 60 Minutes. Now, 60 Minutes, as you know, is a very popular, very powerful media ground for a lot of people, okay? And so what happened is that she says that there's leaked documents, okay, regarding about what Facebook done during the certain period, okay, and this is actually very scary because if you remember this, okay, I'm bringing to you the details now. All right, she have released tens of thousands of pages of documents to they turn in. And it's about the 2020 election as a turning point for Facebook. So it's going to cover what actually really happened during that period of time, right? Because they have really dissolved this thing called the Civic Integrity Team, all right, where she was in. Apparently, it's all right. They got it after the election is over and felt that, right, this whole thing is really created just to do some hurt to some party or people. And apparently, it's all right. She also feels that, right, some of the algorithm created is to pass misinformation to users and actually added a lot of safety risk problem. And the worst thing is this, okay, very important, is that she's going to do this. She's going to be going to actually, go on to she's going to be basically testifying this, really. She's going to testify this, and then this is going to be watched very closely. And she felt that, right, although Mark Zuckerberg is never meant to create a hateful platform, but she felt that some of the choices and stuff really, really seemed to be not very, very good. And she felt that it's a betrayal of democracy. That is what she's trying to explain right here. And I can tell you this is going to be very bad because she has all the information. It's not just by she say. And of course, we all know that what happened in 2020 when certain this presidential this candidate was being shut off from the media. So this is going to be very, very big. All right, I can tell you that. So I can only hear this. That's a 1 minute short video. Let's watch, see whether you can hear it. If not, later I'll put up into our group chat. And let's watch this 1 minute only. Yeah, let's go.
Facebook whistleblower, I don't know if you guys watched this last night on 60 Minutes, but he's now accusing the social media giant of misleading the public and the company's investors. Former product manager Francis Fagan saying that Facebook placing profit over safety when it comes to its products, that he spoke out on 60 Minutes. And that was, I thought, a pretty good interview. One of the consequences of how Facebook is picking up that content today is that it's optimizing for content that gets engagement, a reaction. But its own research has shown that content that is deeper, that is divisive, that is polarizing, it's easier to inspire people to anger than it is to other emotions. Has realized that if they change the algorithm to be safer, people will spend less time on the site, they'll click on less ads, they'll make less money. Control the data really appears to have linked that to the press, but also to the Whistleblower's Office of the SEC, suggesting that the company was effectively defrauding investors, being unfair to the market. In a statement, Facebook saying, in part, we continue to make significant improvements to tackle the spread of misinformation and harmful content to suggest we purge that content and do nothing is just not true.
All right, so you heard it yourself. I think that statement that she say is how Facebook do certain things, like if the content is not that interesting, all right, people won't stay. So they may do something to it to make it a little bit more for people to stay. That is very, very scary. And we all know that Facebook has been trying to show that they are the good guy here itself on social media, but this is going to throw a very big, very bad shade of light onto them. And if this is going to be able to go through, then I believe Facebook shares might be hit further. All right, so let me just bring to you how much is the Facebook share right now. A quick one right now. Okay. Now you can see that, guys, this is the Facebook share itself. You can see that it was doing very well, as good as it was doing very well around here. Broke the MA 50 level at about 275, 270, sorry. And then after that, it went all the way up to a good high. So high under my chart, I must see one. Okay. It went at a high of about 380, 382, I think, around there. So from 270 to 382 is up $100. That's a lot of money, about 40%, all right, in a mere couple of months. But now the counter has came off. You can see that there seems to be some selling, and you can see that the volume actually tick up. It seems that someone do know something is going to happen. And of course, recently there's a huge volume came in, was the market gap down. And there's nothing about that back then. There was nothing about that. There's no whistleblower back then. But yesterday was a combination of everything. So when you see that, when I see volume coming out like that, right, I always tell people there's something is just wrong. And if the market cannot hold the water, right, the selling will come again. And now it's coming down at 326. So if you look at it, I think that if you go down further, to be a fair technical point, I believe that you will have to hit this point here itself. I think that this is going to be likely the level that I think Facebook will be hitting. So what level is that? That will be approximately 307. All right, this is my view. If Facebook to go down, Facebook will go down to about 307. Now, if you go to 307, would that be a good time to buy into Facebook? Well, as long as I don't want whole technical is okay. You can do the Fibonacci here itself. You can see that. Okay. Right. Oh, wow. Incredible. Oh, I didn't know that. I really didn't know that, my friends. I did not do, as you know, I never do pre-hand charting beforehand. Okay. I never do that. Oh my goodness. Can you see that? Oh my goodness. Serious. Wow. The 307 is just a level based on the chocolate bar. And actually it's a 61.8 level. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, so I think that's it. You know what's the next level that you'll be looking at. Okay, so let me just key it out. Facebook now is 327. Looking at 307. Fibo is around 304. Oh my goodness. I really didn't know that. I did not do my homework. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, since Santa Claus came a bit early today. Okay, so watch out for 307. If the Facebook do go down to 307, I think that you can look for to do some buying over there. Okay. Oh, pretty cool. I really didn't know that. Trust me. You know me very well. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. So now, other than Facebook is having a problem, we have the crude oil problem in UK. Truck drivers is really having a big shortage right now. And wow, some research is actually amplifying the whole thing now. They say that they could need at least 400,000 truck drivers in Europe. Oh my goodness. I mean, seriously, do you know that we talk about 400,000 truck drivers, meaning that we talk about a truck driver, ferrying stuff over like in huge stuff, and it could be that 400,000 missing in action. Do you know that how much logistic backlog would that happen? Oh my goodness. I know that I got a friend of mine, okay, Eric, to help me to buy a monitor, right? This very cool monitor where they can do for trading purposes. Apparently, itself is being rejected because they couldn't deliver. And imagine that just a monitor can be rejected in this manner as well. Right? I cannot imagine how the rest of the other stuff. And of course, one will lead to the other, which means that it will have a repercussion effect. And now the thing is that people are saying that it's because of Brexit, because now lack of drivers, lack of people, and the industry now lack of certain people. So now that is a problem, and you can see that people are going nuts again. They're queuing up to get their petroleum pump, their gas tank pump up because they're scared that one day they run out of crude oil. Of gas. It's getting very scary. It's very ridiculous, but you can understand now the problem is people are getting very scared. So one leads to the other, and definitely this will create more problem as we go along. So fewer crisis. So that's the reason why I tell you there's one commodity that I'm pretty bullish is crude oil. Now, although we are making money in a way whereby the market has a big problem here, but you must understand that this is trading. Okay, we're just making money whenever the market is going. So undeniable is all right. To me, crude oil to hit $80 by this year is going to be very possible. I know that a lot of analysts is now marking up to 85, 90, 100. To me, is that I have said this, it hit $80 when it was $60, and now it really happened. So we just have to follow through. But of course, the higher the price of crude oil is, definitely it's going to hit the market or the economy even greater. All right. So that's why France is trying to push the EU to go into independence because of the gas prices. So you can see it doesn't only hit one country, it hit everyone as well. And you know that how crazy it is. The Dutch TTF hub, European benchmark has risen 400% since the start of the year. Oh my goodness. Imagine that. So imagine the price going such a crazy point itself, right? How can the people survive? So that's the reason why they really had to meet up, okay, to talk about this. And I hope that they found out some idea. But if let's say the meeting come out with nothing itself, which I expected to, then prices will just keep on going higher. All right, this is something that you also know if you're a crude oil trader. So let's talk about some important market information first for references, okay? Now, first of all, Walton Jeremy Segal is almost everywhere on CNBC, really everywhere itself. All right, so he's saying that, okay, now the market ability to cope inflation is a big problem. He's saying that this will pressure the Fed to accelerate the taper process. But the problem is that if the market do accelerate taper process, the market may not take it. That is a problem here. So we have a problem here. We don't taper, inflation goes up, the market get hit. If we taper itself, the market don't have the money, the market get hit. So no matter how itself, the market be hit. And that's the reason why I think a lot of traders understand this, and that's why they're dumping the position, because they know that if the Federal Reserve want to really get it done over it, so they had to accelerate the tapering. And this will definitely hit the Nasdaq counter even heavier. So you see that the mainstream media don't really tell you exactly their so-called relationship. But I shared this with you weeks ago. I told you that the moment the tapering comes in, technology share will be hit, and truth be told, now it's all happening right now. So all tells you that very clearly that you have to be very careful that if the tapering start, it will really be terrible. All right. And do note that the yield, 10-year yields was 1.56% last week. Today is 1.46%, so 47%. So why it came off, right? I think the guess is as good as mine. I told you before, I shared this earlier during the MAO, right? All right, now this is a particular one that I want you to take notice of this. I'm so sorry. I think there was some, I didn't have time to do the PowerPoint in time, so apology on that. Okay, now this is from Jim Cramer, and I can tell you this, I totally agree with what he just said, okay? Jim Cramer, this time is different, okay? Cramer says Facebook might not able to shake off latest fallout. Now, why is Jim Cramer saying this? Because this time around, he said that this blowback, right, is real and is very different this time. Okay, so you can actually watch his whole video. Very good, but it's 4 minutes, so I didn't share here. Now, why he says it's different? Because this time around, it shows that the document shows that the Facebook executives know that there's negative effects on its platform on some young users. Oh my God. And of course, we couple with this Apple new opt-in privacy practice, right? This is going to give Facebook a run of money. So what happened is that this document, according to Jim Cramer, is pretty devastating. And of course, Facebook advisors jumping ship, causing a lot of problem will be another thing. I think that there's if let's say Facebook in trouble, right, all the so-called advertiser, in order not to get themselves in trouble or be put in the wrong light, they will move on. They go to Snap, they go to YouTube, they go to TikTok, right? So of course, all these will change. So maybe if let's say happen in YouTube, got more advertisement itself, Google price may go up. But again, and TikTok is owned by this Chinese tech company, BitDance, sorry. All right. So my point is this, guys, this is not a good sign, okay? And of course, the stock price has came out quite a fair bit already. So although it's still up by 19% for the year, still, I believe that 307 could be a pretty good level to buy for Facebook. And of course, but again, don't get into too gloom and doom, because apparently there could be another opportunity in the market. So even though the market is coming off right now, do note once again, it's all right. Okay, normally on the fourth quarter, the market will rebound. And even though we have very big sell-off, that down by 6% due to COVID, due to technology, China rates, all these things, whenever it's down by a certain percentage, you realize that the market also still recover. But of course, there was no tapering now. This time around, if tapering is coming out right, then the recovery may not be that smooth, but it still be them element, because even if it's tapering, they're still going to put some money into the market, okay? And of course, when the price go low enough, the boys will come in. When blood in the water, sharks always arrive, okay? So according to this report, it says that at 4,300 right now, the S&P is selling at 19.5 times earnings, and it's not cheap nor expensive, okay? And the normal peak to trough decline is about 14.3. So even if the market today now is like off about 3% from the high or 4% from the high, if the peak to trough is about 14.3% over the last 30 years, okay, that means if the market goes down by 10% from where we are now today, that means it will hit the 15% mark, right? I mean, about 14% mark, right? And then that will be a good point, because if that happens itself, the multiple before 17.5, and that's a very good price to buy. So in short, a pullback of 10% is good for the whole market. Can you understand? All right, it is good. So that's why I also say that, right, if the market can come down to the 10% mark itself, if it actually happen, it will be a good start to buy into the equity market. That's the reason why I keep on sharing with you that even though I'm a bear right now, but I still think that when the market comes down to a significant good figure, it's a good time to buy and go long once again. All right, guys, you heard me. If you heard me, understand what I just say about this going long in the market, please key number 2 right now, okay? Please key number 2 right now. I don't know, Brian, whether Jim Cramer is following the lemmings, but I'm quite sure that now it's different this time. Okay, all right, thank you very much, guys. Okay, please key number 2 if you understand what I just shared with you, okay? All right, thank you very much. Again, I say the peak to trough, according to Jim Cramer, according to this article, is about 14.3%, okay? So now we are about 4% from the high, right? So if the market is to go down by another 10%, that's 14%, and then that is where you look to buy. You understand? So later on in the chart, I will share with you how do we calculate this, and we will probably know where it's a very good time to buy the S&P 500, okay? Cool, huh? Yeah, indeed, it is a very good buy, indeed, Brian. Exactly, correct, yeah. Okay, so let's study the charts for today. The bull goes moo, the bear goes grrr, and the lemming go is different this time, aka Jim Cramer. Okay, let's bring the chart in. Let's go. Right. Okay, as we go. Okay, now China A50 is closed, as in the spot market, cash market is closed, but the CFD is still moving, and now China A50 is actually trading lower. Okay, trading lower. Gap down, trades lower. Now this is the MA30. You can see that it's very kind of far away. And the worst thing is this: we have a problem, Houston, that the market has lost the 61.8 level. Now this is not a very good sign, because to lose this figure, that means that the market likely had to go down again. So this is whereby if the market do not recover above 14,977 near term, that means that there's a very good chance that the China A50 is going to go back down to 14,520 range again. So traders, be very careful on this. This can be very, very bad. Okay, this will trigger some some selling, and of course, one of the things that can happen is China Evergrande. All right, Hong Kong. Now, Hong Kong this morning has traded lower. Hong Kong, you can see that. Now, Hong Kong this morning, it has gapped down this morning. All right, not a lot because already they added in on yesterday. So Hong Kong this morning is like still below the MLP. Okay, sorry, my bad. Bring MLP in. This is MLP for today, and this is the MA30, and this is the MA200. So below MA200, below MA30, below MLP, definitely the selling pressure is there. This one is and no need to say one. So how low can it go? Well, basically, remember, I shared this with you. I told you that if you can go down lower, you may have to go down to the point of here itself, because that is where the chocolate bar is, and that's 23,451. All right, that is the technical point, 23,451 level, okay? So Hang Seng, if it goes down, it should be able to come down to this point here. Okay, that is on the chocolate bar. But if you remember, I told you before about my personal view on Hong Kong. Remember that? Let me bring out the chart here. I share with you that if Hong Kong is to go down, Hong Kong, wait, this is not the one. Did I lose it? Wait, oh dear. I think I'm losing it. Wait, uh-oh. Where did I put that chart? Oh gosh. Okay, sorry, let me just. Did I delete away? I remember I put it on the side just now to make sure I don't delete it away. Oh gosh. Okay, never mind. I try to bring it up that chart that I had drawn for you about my view on Hang Seng, how low can it go and stuff like that. Remember? Yeah. Okay, something went wrong. My bad. Okay, anyway, we come to dig it up later on. Okay, now let's look at the Hong Kong this morning. Okay, so Hong Kong this morning, here we go. This yeah, it's here. Sorry. Okay, remember I share with you, right? If Hong Kong market is to trade down, I suspect that it will go down all the way to this point, and this number is 22,735. Yeah, I mentioned that. Okay, so we're still very far away. In fact, we're 1,000 points away, so we don't think that will happen so soon, at least for now. Okay, now let's talk about today. Okay, let's talk about today. Now today, the opening price is between the two pivot 1 and pivot 2. KSI is red in color. What does it mean? That means that if the market stays down below OP, it will go down to KTR -1 to -2 rather easily. Now, if it breaks below pivot 2, then the selling will really come in, okay? If it breaks below pivot 2 and goes and stay below pivot 2, the selling will come in. So let's take a look and see what happened during the day today. Okay, so really, as according to plan, the market really goes down from the opening price. It goes down all the way to KTR -1. Then it went to KTR -2, which I told you just now it will hit. And then once it hit pivot 2, I say if it stays below it, it will go down. But you can see it actually stays above it after triggering it. So it hit the pivot 2 but didn't stay down. That's why it rebounded. Again, all these are shown already pre-planned, already can be written off as a script before the market actually traded. So all these are really, already we all know might happen in the day itself. Really scary stuff, right? So Hang Seng, if it goes down later on, if it really breaks below pivot 2, okay, then I'm quite certain to tell you that it'll go down to KTR -3, and that particular level is 23,597, okay? That is if, let's say, the Hang Seng breaks below pivot 2 and stay below pivot 2, then 23,597, you can consider to buy back your last remaining position, okay? All right, okay, cool, let's move on. Okay, so we've done the Hang Seng market. Let's look at the US market right now to begin with. Now, the US market, well, let's do it objectively once again. This is the MLP for today. This is the MA200. This is the MA30. So it's below MA30, below MA200, MLP, all of them is below. But, that's a very critical thing that you must watch is this number. 33,835. Okay, this is the 95% mark. So again, let me explain this again. This is the highest point, the historical high. Then we multiply this by 0.95, you get a number, and that number is 33,835. That is the 5% marker. And you can see that the last time we see this, it hit the 5%, it recovered. Hit the 5% mark, it recovered. Can you see that? Hit the 5% mark, recover. Hit the 5% mark, recover. Hit the 5% mark, recover. And now it just hit the 5% mark this morning again. So you can see that the market actually hit the 5% mark 4 times in a row, and each time it recovered. So it's a good thing. The good thing and the bad thing at the same time. The good thing is if the market can maintain, it will recover back again. Likely it may test even the MA30 or MA200. But the bad thing is that if the market stays down and close below the 20, it will close below 33,835, then the selling will be really bad. The selling may bring it down all the way to this point, like 33,593. That is the previous technical point. Can you see that? Or another one, the chocolate bar itself, and that is 33,198 level. So what I'm trying to say is this: the market must stay above the 95% mark. As long as it stays above the 95% mark, everything is cool. If we stay below the 95% mark itself, right, then the selling will really kick in. So traders, you have to take note of that. Huh? Very important. Okay, all right. So take note of all these very important details. Okay, cool. All right, let's continue. Now the Dow weekly shows very bad numbers, and I told you that this is the last BNB. The BNB is there, and then I told you that, wait, let's put it properly. Okay, BNB. So the market is seemingly looking towards to sell down to the SL level of this BNB. And of course, if that really happened, the selling impact will be pretty bad, and it will bring the market down further. Now, if you notice this, okay, this is the entire range of the BNB, and this range itself is about 1,500 points, okay, 1,500 points. So if the market loses this point and go down, right, you may have to go down by another 1,500 points, and that will be bringing the index to 32,000, okay, because what we're having now is 33,500, right? So which means that if the market comes down, it will have to hit 32,000. Now 32,000 from where we are now is about 1,800 points away. Pretty good, very nice meal. If you can make the best of it, right, you can make a lot of money. Okay, so that is the target that we're looking at. Now, once you hit that 32,000, it's a good time to buy. Yeah, really. When you hit the 32,000, I think it's a very good time to look for buy. Yes, you heard me correctly. Yeah, so take note of that. Okay, so that is the Dow weekly chart for you. Let's look at the Dow Jones today in terms of chart movement. Oh, Hang Seng has recovered. Really hit the pivot 2, couldn't go down, recovered. Interesting. Okay, Hang Seng, look at the Dow right now for Dow today. Now the Dow this morning shows a very clear sign that the opening price is between the 2 pivot 1 and 2. KSI is red, so which means that the downside pressure, if the market stays below OP, it will hit KTR -1 to -2 rather easily. If it breaks below pivot 2, then likely it will go to KTR -3. Okay, right. If it goes below the pivot 2, it will go down to KTR -3. KTR -3 is what level? Okay, guys, take a look right now. So if the market now is trying to stay itself, if it breaks down, the first KTR -2 will be 33,747. Now KTR -3 is 33,619. Okay, can you see that? So -3 is a possibility if the market really pushed down. And I think that if the market do come to 33,619, trader can consider to buy back most of your short position, okay? Unless you hold to 32,000, but 33,619 is pretty good for today. Okay, all right, so that is the Dow. Let's look at Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq, we'll be in trouble here. Nasdaq, as you can see, is still below the MA30. And now it broke the MLP, right? So the MLP will be here for today. And it has lost, very important, that's one of the key points here. It has lost. Now this is the all-time high level on the Nasdaq. This is the 95% mark, which the market recovers from there. But last week, it broke down already, and it got itself very strongly resisted at the 95% mark. And that's why it will go down lower. And we say that you'll come down to MA200, which really it came already. It hit MA200, and now it had to stay above MA200. If it fail, then it will be a free fall all the way to the 90% mark, and that's 14147. Got it? Got it? Very, very important. Now today, MA200 itself is 14478. So as long as the Nasdaq stays below this 14,478, then the probability of Nasdaq going down to 14,147 is high. But I believe that if it come down here, there should be some bargain hunting coming in at this point. So 14,147, please watch out for that itself. It could be a good hunting ground for buyers. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that is the Nasdaq on the conventional chart. Let's look at the non-conventional, which is the TWB chart here. On the TWB chart, you can see that it's now trading below the pivot 1. It opens above pivot 1, so it should be a buy by right, and the KSI is green. So the KSI is green and it's supposed to go up, right? So if it goes above OP, it will be upside to go easily. KTR +1, +2 is not a problem. But if it comes down like what you're seeing right now, then because the KSI is green, then KTR -1 is kind of expected, and it should. That will be all if you say the market maintain its position. So let's look at the 15-minute chart. You can see that, yeah, indeed, the Nasdaq really came off. Then it really hit KTR -1 and then stopped there, and then now it's trying to recover. So again, all these are shown from the charts itself. S&P 500. Now S&P 500 also did the same thing. It's below the MA30. And it's now hovering at MA200. Can you see that hovering exactly? But the only thing is this, it had lost the 95% marker already, but now it's hovering beautifully at the MA200. So same thing again, if the market loses the MA200, it may bring it down lower to this point, 42.35. I believe that's a technical point. So watch out for that. S&P 500 may go down to 42.35 if it stays below the MA200 level. And the MLP already drawn for you is 43.30. It's kind of far away, so you can just give it a miss. So overall itself, right, is for this S&P, if it actually stays below this 14.290, right, that means it will be below MLP, below MA30, below MA200. So also very bearish. Okay. All right, let's look at the S&P day chart. Okay, S&P day chart is actually between the two pivot 1 and pivot 2. KSI is green, so downside will be limited. Downside limited to KTR -1 to the most -2. And if it goes up, break above OP, likely it will be able to test up to 43,646 again if it stays up above OP. All right. So again, this tells me that I have to watch the market closely for today. Okay. All right, so you got an idea now about how it works for S&P and all the US markets. Good. Let's look at the DAX. Okay, the DAX. Now, the DAX, I mentioned to you yesterday that the DAX will be coming down a bit more, and there will be this support at the 15,029. Remember, I told you that if DAX is to come down, right, it will be supported at this 15,029. Remember? Yeah, indeed, it really happened again. Because this is apparently a very important neckline, a very important technical line which the market utilizes. So again, spot on. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so what is happening right now is that the DAX has to stay up because, let me just bring it in. This is the MA30. This is the MA200. This is the MLP. Sorry, this is MLP. This is MLP. Okay, never mind. I think let me make it bigger again. Technical issue, yeah. Okay, this is MA 200. This is the MLP, and you draw it down. Now, this is MLP the previous day. It hit the MLP nicely and came back off. Now, today, MLP will be here, right? So, which means that as long as the DAX stays above 15,029, it's still okay. But if it loses that, then the selling may bring DAX all the way down to this point here, which is 14,700. So, if the market loses this point here itself, 15,029, then it will be able to come down to 14,700. Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. Okay, got the idea? Yeah, you got the idea, right? So briefly, you got the idea now. How do we play? How we do this game and stuff like that? Okay. Now let's look at the Nikkei. All right, Nikkei. Now Nikkei continue to fall. Yes, plunge below the 28,000 level. So it's still going to go lower. Now remember, a couple of weeks ago, when Nikkei was going up, right, because of the PM thingy, I said that as long as it's stable at MA30, it's fine. But once it loses the MA30, you can see that the market really collapsed. And you can notice something very important is that how it goes up is how it comes down, right? So this is a chocolate bar. Can you see that it fulfilled? This is a chocolate bar, it fulfilled. This is another chocolate bar, it fulfilled. Can you see that? So how it goes up will be how it comes down. Okay, this is something that we preach in our TWB system. So now the thing is this, okay, now where will be the first support now? Now, based on what I'm seeing right now, the support will likely have to, MLP. This is the MA30, MA200. So the next support for this Nikkei is all right, may have to come down all the way here to see support. I repeat, Nikkei may have to come down all the way here itself to see some support. And what level that be? That's 27,200. Not very far away, but that will be the first level or range to watch out for. Because if you look at it in the RSI reading, we are almost near the bottom. Every time the RSI hit about 30 level, there's an intermittent rebound. So I suspect that we may have to see a little bit more downside, and then we may have a recovery from here. A technical recovery. So traders, watch out for 27,200 range for the Nikkei. Okay. Okay, I just saw Hong Kong moving higher. Yeah, Hong Kong has tried to recover a fair bit already. Wow, went up to above OP, very good, and hit the KTR +1. For those who are Hang Seng trained, you're online right now. I'm sure you have made money on the Hang Seng going long. All right. If you have made money going long on Hang Seng, please key the word HK right now. If you have made money going long on the M1 trading, please key the word HK. All right. I'm pretty sure you have, if you follow rules, you have actually made some money of it. Wow, so many of you make money. Okay, Judy make money. Arkit make money. Yay, Arkit. Yes, Arkit. Well done. Yes, Cheng Kui, good, make money. Keng Hua make money. Angeline make money. Min Hui make money. Good, Min Hui. Well done. Okay. David make money. Andrew, Eric. Wow, good job, guys. Judy so happy. Now, because it's so simple, our trading method is so simple. You just have to follow the colors and make money. You just have to follow the colors. As simple as that. All right. Congratulations to all of you guys who make money. Well done. Good job, guys. Well done. Okay, good. Let's continue. All right. On the Nikkei. Overshot. Okay, too happy. Okay, so this is the Nikkei this morning. Nikkei basically opened this morning, went down below pivot 1. And now tested. KSI is red, so that's why it went down to KTR -1 to -2 rather easily, right? So it all happened according to plan itself. Okay, pretty cool. All right, so we've covered all the indices. All right, let's look at the commodities right now, which is starting with gold, then silver, then crude, Then we wrap it up with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay. All right. Let's look at the gold market. What happened? Now, gold this morning is resisted at the 1769 level that I shared with you. Okay, you can see that. Okay, 1769 is the MA30 level, and the market seemingly just couldn't go higher. High this morning is 1769.99. Oh my God. Okay. So now for today, we need to draw down a little bit. The figure to be watching out for today as a form resistance is 1768. Okay. Now 1762 is the Fibonacci level, which the market now is almost touching it already. So two way look at it. One, it goes there, stabilize and recover. Okay, it is one way. The other way is it comes down, ding dong, and then come down already. So it come down itself right today. The technical point is about 1746 range. Okay, so we must watch out for this 1746 range. All right, but 1762, I think will be more enough to tell you that something is right or wrong with this market already. Okay, so now go. As long as it cannot break 1768 today, I won't call for buy because that is very important. You must cross the MA30 for it to go higher. All right, but if you go higher, 1795 shouldn't be any problem. Okay, so one barrier to go through is 1768. It has to cross more than that. Then you may and stays above it. Then we have the upside to 1795. Okay. All right. So traders, please watch out for this number that I just showed you, 1768. Very critical number. All right, the weekly chart itself still shows that the market is near the intersection point at 1763. So again, if we can cross 1768.69, it will be a breakthrough above the trend line. And if you notice this, whenever the market break the trend line, there will be a bit of upside to go. So I suspect that it will be a bit upside to go too. Okay, if the trend line get broken. Okay, so that is the gold on the weekly chart. Let's look at the gold on the TWB chart. Now the TWB chart today still okay, but we have a problem, guys. We have a problem. Why is that so? Because today the gold is a flat top. Okay, today gold is a flat top. Now flat top means that the high and the opening price is the same, identical. Do you notice that? Flat top, right? You see the high and the low, the high and the opening price is the same, identical. So as long as the market stays below OP, right, gold will selling pressure for today. This one don't need to see one. Okay. Now, what if the market reverse and go up? This is powerful. Okay. Now this one, please pay attention to details. Now, because today the KSI is red in color, okay, red in color. The KSI is green in color. Sorry, the flat top now is 1769.9, right? Okay. The formula is like this. Okay, listen up. If the market, how low it go, I don't know. This is the X, okay? If it go down, how much is it? Algo selling, that's for sure. Yes, correct, Brian. 1769.99 is the high of the day. The low, we don't know. Let's call it as X. But if the market later on reverse bias and go up, right? The market will go up to this point, which is OP plus X. Can you understand? So what I'm trying to say is this now, the market is doing a flat top right now. So of course it's algo shorting. So why would there be algo shorting itself? I'm not too sure. Maybe they're going to press the price down. Maybe they got some sell order. I don't know. Okay. One word for no, today don't buy. Today be very careful. Don't buy first. Unless you're going to buy at KTR -2 or -3, then you buy. Okay. If the market go to KTR -2 or -3, then you're going to buy. Then you can try. Okay. Now what I'm trying to say is this. Now, I don't know how low will the gold go down. I don't know. But let's say it go down to a certain figure. That's what we call it X. Then you take the opening price and X, that's a range. Then if the market do recover, it will go up and break above OP plus the X. Usually that will happen now for those flat top days. So traders, you can actually consider to do something to that. Okay. So if you are watching gold today, just think note of that. This could actually turn around for you. All these are flat top movement. Got it? All right, for those who got it itself, please key got it. If you understand what I just said, please key the word got it. Okay, so I don't know how low the gold will go down. Speculate, maybe it may come to, if I'm going to speculate this, just speculate means guessing now. I think we come to the cage midpoint. The cage midpoint will be 1760. Yeah. If I were to really speculate, right, I think it may come down to 1760 mark. Then after that, it may trigger the midpoint, and then once it hit the midpoint, recover. That means that the market is going to go for a bigger movement, because yesterday already triggered midpoint already, right? If the market purposely today again trigger midpoint and go up itself, right, then this time now the gold will blast up already. Yeah, the gold will blast up. Okay, so understand? Yeah. Now this flat point, I can only use it for today, not for the whole and or for the whole week or whatever. It's only meant for today. Okay, only meant for today. Okay, cool. Let's move on. That is gold. Silver. Now silver, I've already told you guys that if you want at 21.50 can buy some, $22 can buy some. All right, now today is 22.50. I'm not buying it. Okay, I bought some around here already. So I'm watching it again because why? This is a problem. You see, the market is still trading below the MA30 level. So that is why I'm not that comfortable to buy a lot. So I'd rather wait for a while, but you notice this, the 38.2%, and the MA30 is around the same level already. So again, this is a very strong technical point. Only if gold can, silver can break past this and stay above it, then we can see very big movement going up. So at the moment now, we are still not there yet, so no need to really go for it, okay? Yeah. Okay, so that is silver, gold, and look at crude oil. Crude oil. Yesterday I was sitting right in front of Susan. Susan called for crude oil. She was not loud enough. She had to loud a bit. I went in more. Anyway, crude oil hit $78 yesterday. So it broke above the entire thing. So I must redraw the trend already. You see, I told you guys that I really didn't prepare my MAO. It's not technical, right? So you can see now this Fibo line cannot use anymore because it's already triggered. All this level must take out. All these a long time ago already. Don't need to use already. Okay, let's leave it here for drawing sake. Okay. All right. So now the thing is this: how high will this crude oil go? If you move back your chart, you notice that the last time the high hit was 2018, and in 2018 the high hit was about $77 plus $77. So now it's even higher. Okay, that's even higher. So if we make the chart a little bit more, you will notice that, okay, this is where we are now, the new area here. Wait, let me just bring it into you slowly. Okay, can you see that now? We've got a new area here, okay, which the crude oil may go. So the thing is this, if you look at the chart, I suspect that this is a free fall area. All right, so this free fall area itself, right, goes all the way down to $92. So which means that if let's say crude oil is to really break $80, right, there could be a spur up movement all the way to $92. All right, $92 is pretty expensive for a lot of things, but again, like I say, it won't stop because you can see the very bullish trend right now. So I believe that this is going to be going. So $92 is very highly potential for crude oil in the next 3 to 6 month time. Okay, so trader, do watch out for that, the next 3 to 6 month time. Okay, so that is the crude oil for conventional. Let's look at the non-conventional, which is the TWB chart for crude oil. Now for TWB here today, the crude oil is still moving higher. Opening price is between the two pivot. KSI is green still. So you can see that even though a lot of traders have been shorting crude oil, because why? When the price goes up, they short. But you look at it, the KSI at the bottom is green, so you can only go long. So there's a very big difference when your KSI is with you and not with you. Those traditional indicators will tell you, oh, overbought already, you must sell. And if you've done it right, you've been in serious trouble. You understand? You don't do that, okay? You don't do that. So now, in short itself, right, likely crude oil will go even higher. It may go towards $79.35. All right, for traders, it's something to take note of, okay? Okay, let's go into the Bitcoin, and we're almost coming to the end of MAO. All right, now Bitcoin, wow, 49,000 already. Wow, good Bitcoin. Now, I mentioned to you Bitcoin itself, right? If you can stay above the 46,000, the 50% Fibonacci, it might be able to go even higher. And one of the higher level that it might be going would be here, which is something, okay, sorry, it should be here. It should be here, going up to 51,000. Wow, okay, so it seems like it's going to go towards that. Now, as long for today it's all right, Bitcoin stays above 47,000. Bitcoin is strong because the KSI are green. So as long as the KSI are green, no blue bars, and above pivot 2, very good chance the market can really go to 51,000 for Bitcoin for today. Okay, all right, take note now for today. Now for Ethereum, it's all right. It's not as nice as Bitcoin. You can see the KSI is red in color. Although the blue bars are no longer there, that means that the Ethereum is not getting a bit of fanfare that it should be getting. So as long as they're above the P2 today at 32.89, it should be able to go higher. The first level should go is 3,500 level. So if you think they buy more big Ethereum, you can try for aim and target to sell here. I still want to wait for a while. I still think that there should be a pullback, and then that is where I would prefer to go in more to keep for the long haul. But for now, for trading purposes, well, as long as the market stays above OP, it should be able to test 3,500 in the time to come. Yeah. BTC long term too high to buy at the moment. Yeah, it all depends how you see it. I mean, if you go to 60,000, then it's still not high. But still, yeah, for me, I said to you, Cheng Kui, I still rather wait for 38,000 to buy. I'm not in the hurry. I think just wait for a while. Anyway, the market is still pretty uncertain right now. I don't think we need to take the extra risk for nothing. Okay. All right. So that will be all for today's MAO. I think I've clarified and clear, and some counters that I share with you that's going to be very important. I hope you enjoyed the session. All right. Once again, guys, take care. Have a great day. This is Cal signing off. Bye-bye. Thank you.